Deep Shot Podcast, Season 4, Episode 24. Kobe, RIP.
It's got to be. RIP. RIP, man. You know, that was like, I swear to you guys, there's not many moments in life that you're just like, I remember where I was. I remember exactly where I was when I picked my phone up and realized Kobe Bryant was gone, dude. That was a life-changing day for me.
It really was, dude. He was like my first ever NBA player I ever knew. I remember playing him on the basketball game back, NBA 2K03, and I just remember playing with him, dude. RIP. Also, go back to NASCAR. I said I'd never talk about NASCAR again. Jeff Gordon?
Jeff Gordon, dude. It's a good one.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Deep Shot Podcast. We have got Week 10 of college football and Week 9 of the NFL to talk about. Before we get into that, welcome back to Jake. Missed the last episode, but he's back.
Yeah, glad to be back. A little bit of a conundrum with some hotels in Atlanta on Monday. Got everything settled, got the flight back today. Just settled into the house about 20 minutes ago. So, feeling good. Good to be back in the Sunshine State. I'll just say this. Been in a couple days in Atlanta. Our Atlanta listeners, how do y'all deal with that traffic?
Here, there's no rush hour traffic anymore.
Yeah, no rush hour traffic because the traffic's just so bad all day.
Man.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back.
You'd think they'd fix it. Like, you know, the people that are driving to work that can fix the roads in Atlanta, soapbox moment. Maybe, you know, you're going through the same pain as all of us. Do something about it.
Well, I was scared today because I don't know if y'all seen like what's been going on with TSA, like with the government shutdown, like a lot of TSA people aren't showing up. Like there was a day last week where the wait times going through security was like 4 or 5 hours. And I was quite nervous about that. I'm going to have to miss this episode, but I'll put you on a little life hack. What I was told to do is when you're a little worried about a long wait time, if you just go to the international gate, it's never a long way to international. You get through, you just go down, get on the plane train. Takes no more time.
There you go. Tips with Jake. Jake's take. Jake did get to see the Mutation Brewery on Tuesday, though. We went and filmed the promo video. That'll be out soon. Jake, what were your first thoughts on the event on November 22nd on the venue?
Dude, it's pretty sweet in there, honestly. Like, I mean, I knew that Gary and Trey weren't going to, like, you know, get some mom and pop shop to be the location for the Deep Shot party. But, dude, it's pretty nice in there. They got pretty big bar. They had that cool little speakeasy in the back. The upstairs bar was, like, locked up, which kind of sucked. I kind of wanted to check that out. But, dude, it was a pretty solid place. I'm really looking forward to trying out the Scoville hot chicken. I'm really excited about that because I went and ate dinner last night, pretty nice dinner. So like I didn't want to like fill up on hot chicken, but it looked pretty dang good. So on November 22nd, I think I'm going to try the sandwich and I'm also going to try the tenders. And do they have like hot chicken wings as well? I'm not sure if I saw that on the menu.
I don't think
they do. Well, dude, the party says 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Dude, we got plenty of time to try out a lot of the different beers and a lot of the different fried chicken. A lot of time.
Got a full college football Saturday in November. Reminder, bring a dog, cat food, dog or cat toy. They're going to give you a free drink ticket, and we might be able to give you some free Deep Shot stuff as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We have got Week 10 of college football, and we're going to start. It's hate week. It's hate week for this podcast. Georgia versus Florida. The world's largest outdoor cocktail party. The last year, not the last year ever, but the next 2 years, we're getting Atlanta and Tampa. So the last year for 2 years, this game's going to be in Jacksonville. Georgia is -7.5. Over-under is at 50.5. Florida has not won this game since 2020, the Kyle Trask and Dan Mullen days. Last time Florida was good. Florida fans are convinced they won it last year, though. I will say that. They tell you that they won the game last year. DJ Lagway just got hurt, and that's the only reason because obviously he is really good at football. But to be serious, how is Florida going to respond? They fired Billy Napier. Their new head coach is Billy Gonzalez. Caleb mentioned that Steve Spurrier is a new junior. Steve Spurrier Jr., going to preference that, is a new quarterback coach. How's that team going to look? How is that team going to respond? Is DJ Lagway going to be better with a new quarterback coach? And how is Georgia going to look coming off the bye? I mean, they have had some crazy games in the month of October with the Auburn and the Ole Miss. They're a little bit healthier on the offensive line now. We needed that. The offensive line has played pretty good. We've been running the ball really well. Florida's got a okay defensive line, so we'll see how that is going to test out. Both teams are going to be really rested. Both teams have a game plan that they're going to be prepared for. I want to know how Georgia's defense is going to show up. Can we start finding the pass rush late in the season against a team that obviously struggles with, turnovers? They give the ball away. Florida is one of the worst teams on third down. Can Georgia apply some pressure, get off the field on third down? These are some things I want to see. Lagway make some mistakes. Let's get some defensive momentum. I think Georgia wins this game. I think Florida, it's hard to even know. Are they going to be better without Billy Napier, or are they going to be just as bad or even worse?
Caleb, I'll give you the floor here. Tell me how Florida beats Georgia this weekend.
I don't have that in my Rolodex this week in terms of what I think of the game. If we are competitive, I'll be thrilled. Obviously, anything can happen on any Saturday, but Georgia's been playing very, very well here of recent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. There's no way we outscore you guys, in my opinion. Like, it could open up a little bit on offense. I peeked at the over number though. It's attractive. It is attractive this week. I think there's some chances that Florida maybe sneaks 14, 17, 20 points on the board towards the end of this game, but I think y'all are going to jump on us because we're still pretty banged up on defense. New coach, new everything. Like Garrison said, it could look like a train wreck out there because they're trying to do a bunch of different stuff. There's positive reviews out of Gainesville for the play caller, but that doesn't matter until he does it on a Saturday. So we'll see how that performance goes as well. And like you guys said, Lagway's got to play up to his standard. And if he continues to play at the standard he's set this year, it's not going to work.
Just out of curiosity, what are the positive reviews coming out for the play caller in the bye week? Like he was just shredding the practice defense, or
no? This is like prior information for him in spring games, and when he's been in play calling situations, he's been a good play caller. Like his offenses have resulted in good points, and he was on the side of the ball this year that did shred the Florida defense and set the spring game record for passing yards to Dallas Wilson. He had the most receiving yards in a spring game. Man, that's got to be
in
something.
a spring game. Okay.
I'm just saying, there's a little bit of hope there. Listen, when you're in this spot, I've got this guy behind me. He's been behind me for about a month now. Okay. This is just the way things are. You got to look for the light in the darkest places.
Uh-huh. What do you think about the game?
Yeah. So just to start it off, I just want to say, this game is in my backyard here in Jacksonville, Florida. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year. That and the Players Championship weekend is like my two favorite weekends in Jacksonville. So going to be pulling up, go to a tailgate. Not really sure if we're going to be going to the game yet. Haven't bought any tickets. If you're listening to this, maybe you have an extra Georgia Florida ticket. Hit me up. Let me know. I think this could be a good game. For, I will say, a half, maybe 3/4. I think when you look at this in a 4-quarter aspect, I do think that Georgia's going to be able to pull away with it. But, dude, I'm telling you, just don't be shocked if on Saturday, if it's the second quarter and it's 14-10, it's, 10-7, something like that, like a pretty tight game. Maybe Florida's even winning because we have seen at times this year, Georgia's defense not really look elite. We've seen other times where Georgia's defense has looked really, really, really good. The second half of the Auburn game, the bad first halves have really started stacking up for us. It's basically weekly. Like our first halves are terrible. So I don't see a world where Georgia drops this one. If they do, we're going to have to see a really bad game out of Gunner. We're going to have to see DJ play the game of his life. Dallas Wilson's going to make some plays. Vernell Brown's going to make some plays. Ball's going to make some plays. There's a lot that has to go right for Florida to win this football game. And I say all that to say, I don't have a pick in this one. I'm probably going to take the dogs minus a touchdown and a half because I'm a Georgia fan. But I'll say this from just a naked eye. I don't hate Florida with the hook in this one. I could see this game staying within a touchdown. Just look at last year. I'm not really sure what the final score was last year, but
34-20 was the final score.
20. But hey, even last year, that game was tight for a minute. So we'll see. Both teams going to be fired up for this one. And, it seems like, teams get like that interim bump every single time. It lasts like one game. It's never like a full season, but they'll get a game or 2 games where that interim coach comes in and is able to get the guys rallied up. And it's a good opportunity off a bye, the Georgia-Florida game. But, yeah, I think Georgia shouldn't have any issues winning this game.
Yeah, me neither. It should I like what you said. I keep forgetting how bad we are at first halves, but I'll probably be reminded on Saturday. Just so you guys know, going into in the preseason, this weekend was supposed to be insane. So we've got Penn State, Ohio State, right? That game was in the preseason was 2 versus 3. We've got Miami versus SMU in the preseason. That was 10 versus 16. Arizona State, Iowa State was 11 versus 22. South Carolina, Ole Miss was 13 versus 21. Texas Tech, Kansas State was 23 versus 17. Oklahoma, Tennessee was 18 versus 24. And Georgia, Florida was 5 versus 15. And I don't think a single one of those matchups, other than Oklahoma, Tennessee, is now ranked.
Yeah, that aged like milk. I think I saw that same tweet, and it was like, he was like, I'm begging my girlfriend to try and make plans for this weekend. And, it's not a terrible matchup weekend. Like, there's some good ones in there, but good Lord, like, you look at it preseason, it was like, the best college football Saturday of all time. Now it's just the college football Saturday of all time. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just a college football Saturday. All right, let's talk about another game. Vandy is going to Texas. Texas is -2.5, over under at 44.5. Arch Manning, a little banged up. He's been practicing this week, but there are, concussion protocol things he's got to go through. So we'll see how that is. I know Michael Taft, this, star safety for Texas, he's a little banged up too. So, big playmakers on the Texas side of both sides of the ball for Texas are injured. We'll see how that is. Texas defense got exposed last week against Mississippi State, and it took a miracle comeback by the offense, showing life for the first time this season, and they'll win that game. The only thing is now that they're going to play Vandy, that's a lot different offense than the air raid Mississippi State that they've seen. And Vandy's offense has, looked a little exposed against the Missouri defensive line last week. That's, you could say elite in college football with the amount of talent they have on that line. And Texas is probably right up there with them. So that'll be a good matchup to see. Basically, this is Texas's, really big last gasp for the season. If they can pull out this one out, they're, right in the thick of it. They can stay alive, everything in front of them for making the playoffs. Can Vandy, the question after this game, I don't have it picked. It's one of those games where, Texas is obviously favored, but, you don't even know if Arch Manning's playing. You don't even really know if Arch Manning playing is good or bad for Texas at this point. But can Vandy just out physical Texas? I have a hard time thinking that, and I think that's maybe why Texas is favored in this game. And it might just be, the defense is going to get to Pavia, and he's the Heisman talk. We talked about it last episode. I don't think he's putting up the stats, things like that. Like, he hasn't been playing that great. I think I heard a stat where he hasn't had over 200 yards of passing against an SEC defense in the last 12 games. I think that was the stat. Against Texas defense, it's pretty good. It got exposed a little bit last week, but I don't think it's the same offense that's going to be able to do that. But Vandy wants to run the ball with Pavia and Alexander and the folks. I'm a little I'm just curious, because if Vandy wins this game, I mean, it's all but written that they're going to the college football playoff. And if Texas wins this game, we're back into, you got to talk about them.
Yeah. I will say Pavia, the only way Pavia wins the Heisman if they just do it off of aura, because Pavia does have aura. He does. He has positive aura. But yeah, dude, I kind of agree with you there, Garrison. Like, if they can get through this one at DKR and they can get through with another win, that would be 3 straight, I'd say, quite impressive wins. Beating LSU, beating Mizzou, beating Texas on the road. Then you got Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, and then at Tennessee, last game of the season. Let's give that a loss. Let's put that a loss. You got a 10-2 Vandy. A 10-2 Vandy has good wins on their schedule. Why don't you put them in there? I mean, they have a legitimate chance. They have a really good chance. But I think this is the one that we got to look at. Because I'm telling you, man, I know Texas they've been really easy to dunk on this year. They haven't been quite what we were looking for. But shoot, man, there are 2 losses where they went to the horseshoe in week 1 and lost, and both teams looked quite bad in that one. And then a really bad performance, in the swamp. For their second. But outside of that, I mean, they've had some close calls. I mean, look at last week, Mississippi State. Mississippi State was blowing them out for a minute, and they were able to come back. The Kentucky game the week before, they were only able to edge that one out by 3 points. But they're kind of in the same boat. I mean, say if Texas wins this one, then they got Georgia. I mean, they go on a little run of their own, and they can get a win in Athens, beat Arkansas, and then beat A&M, which I wouldn't be surprised if that happens last game of the season. Then we got a conversation for Texas. So this is a huge matchup for both sides. I'm really interested. I don't have a pick in this one. I don't even really know which side I lean. Part of me thinks I might lean Texas to win this. And it looks like Vegas agrees. Texas is -2.5, which is kind of surprising for me, but I hope and pray that Vandy proves me wrong again. They keep on winning.
Dude, I may have a pick in this game later. I'm kind of in between 2 favorites. I'll just give you that. Okay. Not to spoil anything, but we'll see. Okay. I think the stat of this game is exactly what Garrison talked about. Diego Pavia's got to throw the ball. And if he doesn't, it's not going to go very well for Vanderbilt. I mean, they're not going to run up against one of the best run defenses in the country in Texas. Say they're injured or whatever. They still got players, units, and probably the best backups in America. So I don't think that'll be too big of an issue for them. And also, You're talking about Arch Manning getting hurt last week. I think it's huge if he does play this week. I think he needs to. He threw for 340 last week in a performance. Mississippi State, say what you want to, they had to throw for almost 400 yards to stay in that game. I don't think you're going to get a replicated performance out of that. That is not the path that Vandy's going to be able to take to beat these guys. And you'd like to see Arch out there again to maybe build on what he's doing. Because Vandy really hasn't been too tested in the pass game this year.
Yeah, no. And did you guys know that Vanderbilt all time against Texas, 8-4-1, owns the series?
Stat of the day.
Since when? What about since like 1990? What about that? Do we have that stat?
You know,
How about this? Since the telephone was invented. How about that?
yeah, I mean, Texas has the advantage in every statistical category of wins and championships and yada, yada, yada. But
man, Caleb is sucking that milkshake down.
no,
dude.
okay.
What you got there?
I got a little frosted lemonade, dude. I was trying to get.
it says that Vanderbilt's longest win streak is 4 straight of these matchups from 1905 to 1922.
Dude, unbelievable. During the Depression, dude? Like right there before it?
Oh, man.
Gosh.
Okay, let's talk about
the games are on the TVs at the soup kitchen. As they were going Thursday. Hey, you got Vandy
5-inch screen, dude. Everybody's huddled around. Okay, Oklahoma is going to Neyland Stadium on Saturday night. Tennessee is -3.5, over under at 56.5. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we're just talking SEC games because the Big Ten just doesn't have any good games. It'd be cool if they did, but they just don't. Anyway, Tennessee offense at home this season, averaging 50 points a game. Oklahoma's defense last week got exposed pretty heavily, especially in the secondary against Ole Miss. And we know that the passing attack for Tennessee with Joey Aguilar and those receivers is deadly. We saw it against Georgia. I have a hard time thinking Oklahoma is going to be able to stop it. I think this is going to be like a Georgia-Tennessee game where we saw in week 3. I do think Oklahoma offensively is going to be able to shine because Tennessee's defense is not good. They're in the hundreds of total yards given up and points. Kentucky last week put up 34 points on them. So I think this game is going to be electric for a Saturday night SEC game. Yeah, I'm really excited to watch this one. I think the quarterbacks are both going to throw for, over 300 yards. There's going to be, we could be at halftime. This game's 28-24 type of vibe. I mean, I do not think this game's going to have a lot of punts. I will say that. I think Tennessee eventually is going to win the game just because they're going to outscore them. I have a hard time watching Oklahoma nowadays, and with John Mateer being hurt, I feel like a mistake or two is going to get made. It's going to be the difference of it, but there's going to be fireworks in Neyland on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, listen, not to completely disagree with you here, but like one of the things you say is like you think the quarterback's going to go there for 800 yards. Dude, John Mateer has been hard mid since he's come back from his injury. And it's either he's still hurt, which I think there's a hard chance of that, Caleb. I heard you point that out on the podcast last week, that his hand just might not be completely healed. And it probably isn't. He was out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and has a screw in his thumb. That's tough to recover from. But looking at this for me, I think Tennessee rolls. I think Tennessee is going to beat them pretty good. It's in Neyland, night kick. I think Oklahoma, man, it's like really because I remember being high on Oklahoma when they were 5-0. I was like, man, this Oklahoma team, John Mateer, maybe they could do it. And then Mateer gets hurt. They lay that egg against Texas. They get beat last week against Ole Miss. And now you look at those wins, it's like in Illinois State, Michigan, Temple, Auburn, Kent State. Like, I think we were crowning them a little bit too early. I talked about the whole number one defense thing that they have. Well, they were playing nobody. Let's see how that number one defense does against Tennessee this week. It's going to get shredded. Maybe I can look back at this and, think what the heck was I thinking? But I don't think Tennessee's going to have much issues on Saturday night, at least offensively. Maybe Mateer's able to make a play here and there. They're able to, score a couple touchdowns to keep him in it. But like you said, Garrison, Tennessee is 100% going to be able to outscore them in this one. So their best chance is a track meet, and I don't think they're going to be able to keep up.
And shout out to you, Jake. You said that Oklahoma defense could be suspect, and the people on TikTok were not happy with you.
No, they weren't. But I mean, hey,
that's why we have and they say that, I love the comments that are like, anybody can have a mic these days. Yeah, anybody, whatever you think. Yeah. We got ball knowledge on this podcast.
Yeah, I liked it. It was like, man, they need to raise the price of podcast equipment. You know what? Where's your podcast?
Yeah. No, it's not easy being a talking head, but someone's got to do it.
It's not.
Yeah, this microphone was not cheap, big dog. I don't know what he's thinking this thing is. I mean, this is not $12.99 at the Walmart, brother. I mean, this is not a Chick-fil-A meal, okay? These things we're taking this thing serious, and we're bringing serious knowledge to it. Look, John Mateer, here's some serious knowledge for you. John Mateer's injury is usually a 6-week timeline for recovery with no contact. Okay. He's in week 4, I think. So you saw it last week when he wanted to put some mustard on the ball. And it was going right over all the receivers. And I don't think it's going to get much better in a week. I mean, healing is good. Obviously, him probably rehabbing it the right way during the week is going to make him a little bit better, but they've got to be able to run the football with him in order to have success against Tennessee. You're talking about scoring every drive. That's what they've got to plan to do. And if you don't, you might as well book it. You're not going to win that game. A night game in Neyland on top of that? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
I think
It's tough.
Venable's conversation that Garrison brought up about, the rumblings are going to start underneath his seat after this game. I think they're going to get boat raced, and him being defensive coach is not going to look well for anybody, including the boosters.
Yeah, so I'm glad you bring that up, because when I was listening to y'all's pod, I thought that was interesting, because like if they do wind up going 8-4, 7-5 this year, then it's year 4. It's year 4. Like that's you start looking at the coaches that are getting put on the street around it. It's about year 4, year 5, and I don't know. You're talking about Oklahoma. Oklahoma has expectations.
That's right. People have gotten fired for quite less so far this year.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like someone's getting fired this weekend. It could be Hugh Freeze or whoever, or, Mike Norvell, maybe finally. Who knows? But it seems like every week we're going to get a new one. So I'm excited to find out who that will be. Okay, let's talk about a couple other games. Give me one game you guys are excited for, other than the games we talked about.
I'm going to go with the homer pick here for us locally for the podcast. Georgia Tech is going to NC State Saturday night. And NC State gives up a lot of points, and Georgia Tech scores a ton of points too. So I think that would be somewhat of a shootout. We'll be looking forward to having maybe a 2 TV setup wherever I'm at. I believe I'll be in the city. So, watching it home for the away game. But we'll see. We'll see. I do want to tune into this game out. I find it going to be interesting. And also, I don't know if you guys saw the poll so far today. This might be an early wave the checkered flag for me, but Haynes King was a lead in the poll last time I looked, and Guy is probably going to ball again.
I think no Kings. I do think I think Haynes King is going to end up being in New York at the end of the year.
He might. Guys, the thing is, like, when you want to start talking about Diego Pavia, it's like, cool, yeah, but Haynes King has him beat in like just about every single statistical category. He has like 1 interception or something this year. Haynes does. I mean,
Crazy.
he's playing really well. The game I'm looking forward to this week is just one that, like, my fingers are crossed and I'm just like, what if? You know how funny it'd be if this was the year that Penn State beat Ohio State? It would be the funniest thing in the world. It would be the most Penn State thing ever. Ohio State's blacking out the horseshoe. I mean, say what you will about Penn State. Listen, like, they're 3-4. They're not a great team. They got talent. That team is loaded with talent. So who's to say that maybe they, play here, play there, goes the right way? Probably isn't going to happen. But the money line on Penn State was
it was like plus
I just had it
$1 million.
Yeah, plus 1,000. I considered that being my deep shot, but
yeah, you got to at least try to win,
Yeah, you're right.
I want to talk about this one just because it's a big losers game, but funny stat here. So Mississippi State's playing Arkansas. Mississippi State has not won an SEC game. I talked about that last episode. They haven't won once 2023, so it's been a while. Arkansas has not won a SEC game since last year when they played Mississippi State. Something's got to give. Quick thought: who wins, Mississippi State or Arkansas?
Give me the Razorbacks.
No, I said half of the word Arca. I'm going Mississippi State, dude. I mean, they're running up on everybody. They've made every game close. Arkansas has not been really good. Like, I don't know if you guys watched it last week. We talked about it, but they literally threw 2 picks and had a fumble and 3 straight drives in the fourth quarter. Just give the ball back to Auburn and give the game away to keep Hugh Freeze a job. Really a platter,
Yeah. Another one, just 2 other quick games. Navy's playing North Texas. Big battle there for the G5s. North Texas is minus 6.5. Over-unders at 65.5 in that game. So it could be some fireworks. Drew Messamaker coming off that 600-yard game. Winner of that seems like they are going to be in a good situation, probably fighting versus Memphis for that G5 spot. And then the Big 12's got a ranked matchup that they put on at 10:15 at night. Cincinnati is playing Utah. Utah is like a 10.5-point favorite in that game, which is wild. It just seems like, Utah's lost 2 games and it's against the good teams, and Cincinnati's supposed to be a good team. Maybe it's just going to get crazy there at night, but You guys got any thoughts on the Big 12 matchup that you might fall asleep before it's over?
I was considering taking Cincinnati as my underdog, and I don't know. I just don't know. Big 12 football, man, it's just not really my forte. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? But Cincinnati is not bad.
They're not 7-1. Only
There
lost
you go.
to Nebraska, and it was that first game of the year in Arrowhead.
Good take, Jake. That's a good take. They're not bad. That's a good
They're
take.
not. I think I'm a little scarred from Desmond Ritter and just like taking Cincinnati, just like the ghost of Desmond Ritter is back in my life. Speaking of, I need to change this background. Why do I still have the Falcons as my background?
All right. Well, while you change that, let's move over and talk about again. I remember I said it's hate week this week for the podcast. Not only is it Georgia, Florida, it is Falcons go into Foxborough to play the Patriots. Patriots are -5.5, over under at 45.5. Caleb's got a huge grin on his face right now.
I'm gonna let Jake go. I'm gonna go get something. I'll be right back.
What you got, Jake?
Well, he's going to come back with that fuck ass Super Bowl 51 shirt. I already know what he's going to do. Listen, I don't have a lot of hope in this game. I will say, the Falcons are the most frustrating team in the NFL because we look like a Super Bowl contender. We beat the Bills, and then we lose like a combined 64-10 against the Panthers and the Dolphins. Like, make it make sense. We beat Washington, we beat Buffalo, but we're losing to Carolina, San Fran, and Miami. So going off of those results, we should win this game. We beat the good teams, we lose the bad ones. So we'll see. I don't have much hope. Drake May looks so good, like so good. Mike Vrabel looks like he is just a match made in heaven in New England. Defense doesn't look too shabby. Zach Robinson's press conference today, he was like, "We have got to figure out what is going wrong." Because I was like, dude, you literally, like, I was talking to the bartender at Mutation Brewery yesterday, and we were both just bouncing the hate just off each other. It's like, well, every time they have Charlie Warner in the game, Charlie Warner has one catch for -5 yards. What do you think you're doing? Oh, Charlie Warner's motioning across. What do you think he's going to do? You're going to run in that direction. It's so stupid. So, not much hope here for the Falcons. Not much.
Man, you sound defeated. This is the first time all year you've been
feel defeated. Ew. That loss on Sunday was, that's about as low as you can go.
We got the Brady jersey on.
Yeah, for folks at home, you don't have to send me anything, but the birthday's coming up. Guess what's on my list? I've got to get the new one. I've got to get the new Brady jersey, and that's top of the line right here. So on the way, we'll probably be wearing it pretty soon. Maybe it'll come in before the next podcast is over with. Got to maybe show it off, wear it, because I think it's going to be a good result for the Pats. I really do. The Falcons will coach their way out of this game. Mike Vrabel is going to whoop Raheem Morris up and down the field. I think that's how this goes. And by the way, people forget that Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator for us, the guy that won Super Bowls and set passing game records with Tom Brady at the same time. And, oh, by the way, when Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler his rookie year, same OC. So he knows how to get quarterbacks to play good. And Drake May is literally playing off the charts of EPA and deep yard, passing completion percentage and accuracy. Like, he's got a perfect passer rating on deep over 20 yards. Insane. Never been almost seen before. And I think I sent the chart to one of y'all today. Like, Sam Darnold's playing at an elite level. Drake May is almost twice as good in that same stat category is what making Sam Darnold elite. I mean, he's second in the MVP odds as of today.
Yeah, that's absolutely really good insane. Is Mahomes still first?
I believe so.
He was last time I looked down. I'll say this, genuinely, and it's sad for me to say this, but there's a part of me that kind of just wants us to start losing, so we'll get Raheem out of Atlanta as fast as possible. He makes me so angry. Like, I hate watching him stare at the Halo board every single Sunday, and Zach Robinson act like he's some, offensive gene. God, more Patriots merch.
Sorry, I got cold. I had to put the jacket on, dude.
I'm so ready for both of them to be out of Atlanta that, like, okay, if it takes a loss here, it takes a loss there, like, then rip the Band-Aid off and let's get it moving, because I can't take it much longer.
Yeah, we talk about the Falcons. They're not a consistent team, and I think that's why they may show up and win this game on Sunday. I don't know. I got a sneaky suspicion. A lot of nice things are being said about the Patriots. The only thing is, like, the Patriots don't seem like a team that are, not going to show up, at least from what I've seen. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised when the Falcons show up and somehow win this game in Foxborough. And then Jake's on here on next episode being the Falcons are back. We've got it all figured out. You know, the pistol's actually the best thing we've ever seen.
No. Even if we win, I'm still gonna be shitting on the pistol.
But that's what I'm telling you. This is what I have a feeling we'll win, and this is where we'll keep fighting to our 8-9, 9-8 season. Raheem Morris will defend his turf, defend his job. It's just a feeling I've got. But other than that, not too much analysis. I think Michael Penix is coming back, though, right?
That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. He's progressing well.
Is Drake London coming back?
See,
yes, he's back.
So he was back at practice today. So
Thanks for my fantasy team. It's going to be a pretty chilly game out there, too. You know, maybe Mr. Durag is going to be a little nippy out there. He's used to playing indoors.
the guy who played college football in Indiana and Washington is going to be cold. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be all right.
All right. The Colts are playing the Steelers on Sunday as well. Colts are 7-1, best record in the NFL. Steelers are 4-3. Listen to these stats just for the Colts. Daniel Jones, 2,062 yards passing, 13 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, 850 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns. He has 12 touchdowns. We've played 8 games. And then Tyler Warren, 492 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Colts are just a wagon right now. Everybody they play, they're minus 3.5, over unders at 50.5. Steelers, 2 back-to-back losses. Seems like they're kind of getting into that 9-8 range that they'll be in. What do we guys think about this game, if anything?
I saw a funny AI video of Mike Tomlin in the locker room, and I was like, hey, guys, I know this was a second straight really tough loss, but we're on track for 9-8. Ooh. Mike Tomlin loves to go 9-8. Dude, this is going to be a good one because these dang Colts look dang near unbeatable when you watch them. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, career season he's having, which is to say something because, I mean, he's had 3 career seasons already. I mean, JT is just awesome. Obviously, the whole Daniel Jones thing. So, I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough one. I feel like this is one that the Steelers have to have. They have to bounce back. Because I'll say this, man, we've been saying this whole time that the AFC North is theirs. And right now it is. It's still theirs. Well, dude, you lose 3 straight games, and then all of a sudden, okay, now the water's a little bit murky, and it's within striking distance. They have to play, some of these teams still twice before the close of everything. And what looks certain can not be certain very quickly in this league. So Pittsburgh needs this one. It's in Pitt. I think I'll lean Pittsburgh to be able to get it done in this.
I don't have a pick in this game, but I think I have to go against that. I like the Colts. I just think Pittsburgh has given up so many points the last couple weeks. I mean, they gave up over 30 to both Cincinnati, who was a shell of themselves, and Joe Flacco won Player of the Week off that. And their most recent game, it was the same song and dance. So I think the Colts, with that level of offense, that's not just going to stop. And I don't think the Steelers are just going to fix themselves in 1 week. The Colts are going to score 30. And it's up to Aaron Rodgers to see if he can continue to keep that team competitive. I just don't know if they've got the juice like Indy does. Indy is rolling.
They are. Let's talk about one more matchup. It's the yearly regular season matchup between the Chiefs and the Bills. I just read off those stats for Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes. 2,099 yards. He has 17 passing touchdowns already this season. And then James Cook for the Bills, 753 yards on the ground. He's been having a great season. I feel like the Bills always win the regular season matchup between these two, and then get to the playoffs and the Chiefs win it. I feel like that is how, I don't know the stats on it off the top of my head, but I feel like every time this game is played, the Bills win in the regular season. It's in Buffalo, so I have a feeling they're gonna do it again. Right now, the Chiefs are minus 2.5 point favorites, over unders at 52.5. What do you guys think?
I think I love getting the Bills at plus money at home in this matchup. You can get them at plus 2.5, and you can get them at plus 115. I think that value because you said it right, Gary. It used to be the Bills never could beat them, and then for the last few years, it's been like the Bills always beat them as long as it's in the regular season. And once they line up in December and January, the Chiefs are going to get the better of them. So I think I love that value. You can get the Chiefs plus 2.5 points. Get the Bills plus 2.5 points at home. I take that every single day. And maybe this is the year that they get them in the playoffs too. But I don't know. But yeah, to talk on your point about Patrick Mahomes is having one of the better years of his career, especially now, that Rasheed is back. Rasheed Rice, it's looking dangerous what he's able to, stay off the roads, man, because Rasheed is coming, and he's coming fast.
Pause. Holy smokes. That's just bad all around there. I mean, we got to look out for this guy. He's back. They've been cheering. They wore the shirts and stuff. They're here to represent. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been a great player for them coming back. Travis Kelce broke out a little bit last game.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Kansas City is going to win this game. They're going to go into Buffalo because, if we recall, I had Buffalo in the Super Bowl in my Super Bowl prediction earlier this year. I think they got to lose to win later. So I'm taking the Chiefs right here.
Really? Okay.
I think the Bills would agree to that if that was offered to us. Like, hey, you lose, but you get to win in December, January. I think they take that.
I'm really doing them a favor.
Yeah, you are. You really.
Caleb's, I think, just thinking more about Bills lose, Patriots take more control of the East. I think that's what we're
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You picked up on that. Good call.
Yeah, and also quickly, just Thursday night football. You'll be hearing once you're hearing this. The Ravens playing the Dolphins, both one's 2-5, one's 2-6. But Lamar's back. Also, Tua is throwing 10 interceptions this year already. Did you guys know that?
None with one eye.
The Falcons.
None with one
Okay.
eye. When he had one eye, he's been pretty damn good. We got to see if he comes out with. Maybe his eye's swollen up again. Maybe he gives that pillow a little action before he goes to sleep Saturday night.
All right. Well, let's get into our picks for the weekend. We've got our guy Brodrick joining in, the T-shirt master behind the scenes, doing a lot of good stuff. Got the deep shot background. How we doing?
Yes, sir. What's going on? And actually, have a beverage sitting on a new D Shop. Probably can't see it because of, but D Shop coasters coming out, man. I'm telling you, we got some stuff coming out, man. We're working on some stuff and some connects, man. Just we got some merch coming out, so just stay in tune for that for sure.
Deep shot coaster.
I'll send you my address after this, bro.
I got y'all. I got some made especially for y'all, man.
There we go.
You rocking
Yes,
the
sir.
Thrashers?
Well, yeah, Throwback Atlanta, man. Throwback Atlanta, man. We got to do it.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you to Brodrick. You've been working hard behind the scenes. We appreciate you, brother. All right.
Sure.
We'll get into it. Just to recap from last week, I've kind of, separated from the pack a little bit. I will say I didn't have the best week last week. Hit the lock though. So overall, I'm sitting at 23-21, 6-3 on locks, 1-7 on deep shots. Jake last week went a 3-2, so catching up a little bit.
Back-to-back weeks positive at 3-2. So I'm coming.
So 19-25, 4-4 on locks, and 3-5 on deep shots. Excuse me.
Look, Caleb with that little shake in his head, man. I'm coming for you, dog.
You're calling me out, dude. I'm not even on the camera because Jake Garrison was fully just in his thinking. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm on blast. What kind of assault is this?
Caleb had a rough week.
See, I mean, just backing on top, kicking a man while he's down.
Caleb had a rough week, 1-4. So he's now sitting at 20-24, 4-5 on locks, and 2-6 on deep shots. And Wizzo, our guest picker, who said he was going to go undefeated, but did not. He ended up going 2-3. So the guest pickers are sitting at 21-23, 3-6 on locks, and 3-5 on deep shots. So let's see what happens as we get into the double digits, week 10 of the pick. So, all right, I will start off as always. I talked about this game a little bit earlier. It's a big game in the G5. I've got North Texas -6.5 against Navy. I think about these situations like last year. I'm pretty sure Navy was undefeated and they played Notre Dame and it kind of just went the wrong way. And North Texas offense is just rolling right now. I think Drew Markermaker, I forget all it says. It's a weird last name. All right. So Drew Markermaker, Drew, the quarterback for North Texas. Coming off that 600-yard game, I think he'll be able to keep it going. I don't know how explosive the Navy offense is going to be on Saturday. So I'm going to be rolling with North Texas to cover this touchdown spread here. We win by 7, we're in. And then the over sitting at 65.5 too. That's a scary one because, like I said, I'm not sure if Navy's going to be able to keep up with the explosiveness of North Texas. We'll see. But I like North Texas to keep it rolling. And I saw them score. They only lost. They got smoked by South Florida, but they were scoring as many points as they could. And I don't think Navy's going to be able to match that input. So I'm going to go with North Texas -6.5.
Man, that might be my least favorite pick I've ever had. You say, dude, how are you going to go against a 7-0 Navy midshipman, dog? That's unpatriotic.
Can't believe it.
Do you remember
Can't have it. I mean, what's going on?
Do you remember the video?
Man.
I remember last year when what was that video that I posted last year of Jake whenever they lost. What was that joke you said about Navy not showing up? Gosh, I wish I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was really funny. Anyway, I'll try to find the video. I'll try to find the video while you guys.
Well, I'll tell you something I said last week that wasn't very funny. I said that Indiana does not blow people out. Yeah, they beat the brakes off.
Did
of
you say that, or did
Bruins.
Caleb say that?
I said that.
Okay.
I said that, and then I got
thought
roasted.
Caleb-
Rightfully so. I got roasted for it. But yeah, they lost by 50. So you know what I'm doing this week? I'm taking the Indiana Hoosiers minus 22.5 at Maryland this week. It's going to be blowout time. Don't do it to me, Coach Sig. You burned me last week. Get me back this week. I think they roll. Yeah, they keep their foot on the gas.
I'm with you. Exactly the same pick as me. I have him at 21.5. So let's get some points. Don't you think?
We'll take him at 21.5.
Okay.
I like that. This is going to be my lock as well. You want to lock it with me, Caleb?
No, I'm going to avoid that whale situation. We got enough blubber around here. No, but I do want to take Indiana and say that they're due for a big blowout. They're due to beat somebody like 63-17, and I think their defense is going to show up. Look, Maryland hasn't really played great against decent competition here as of recent. Indiana's stomping people. I think they roll.
All right, Brodrick, give us your favorite and your underdog.
So my favorite, kind of biased, I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm a Louisville Cardinal fan, favorably from Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm going to go ahead and take Louisville versus Georgia Tech. Louisville sitting at minus 10.5 points. Louisville's just looking good, man. I mean, the ACC, how it's stacked right now, but I think Louisville's just rolling, scoring, almost 35 points a game. So I'm going to take Louisville. And as my underdog, I'm just going to stay in the ACC with it. I'm going to take Duke's playing Clemson. I'm going to Duke at positive 2.5 with K coming off an injury and how Duke's looking, the rushing game and how the quarterback's looking. I think has 17 touchdowns to 2 interceptions and just going off. I'm going to take that lock for the ACC, and I'm going to lock that one in for sure.
Dude, I was looking at taking Duke as my deep shot, but it was like plus 115, plus 120, something like that. And I knew, it's plus 115. I was like, my last deep shot was a plus 120. Like I have to crank it up a little bit. But I love Duke. I like that pick a lot.
They look good. I think the ACC is kind of a little underestimated for what a lot of people are looking at, but they got some teams, out there. So I'll take that one for sure.
All right. So my underdog is going to be my lock as well. And Jake sprinkled a little bit of it earlier. Penn State plus 20.5 against Ohio State. I think they cover. These guys, and this is a whole total vibes and psyche play. I think that these guys came back for one thing and one thing only, and it was to beat Ohio State. And gosh be damned if they lose UCLA or not, they're going to play their hardest they have played all year in this game. I think they keep it close. And I'm taking Penn State plus 20.5, lock of the week.
Man, I got a decision to make here because that was also mine.
Man.
It's perfect. We're going to go back to back. Give me Penn State. Give me Penn State plus the points. Me and Caleb, me and you, we're either going to catch up to Garrison together or Garrison's going to win. Like, we're going to look back to week 10. Give me Penn State. It's a lot of points.
Man, Jake's face was telling me that he had the same thing. He was rummaging around in his seat. All right. Before I get into my underdog, I found the video. I just want to play it for you guys.
That's never a good sign when you see you see a Southern Academy dropping back 14 times. Don't find disciplined football, which is, like you said, just honestly going deeper than just not what you expect. Kind of makes me worried for our national security as a country. Our armed forces are playing undisciplined football. How are they going to look when Russia hits us? And, we're going to need to have these guys ready. It's a little concerning. And I would say there's only one person to blame for this is Joe Biden. Joe Biden has to get our guys on the right track. Hopefully we're, 2 weeks away from the election day, and maybe the next commander in chief will get our guys back on track.
Yeah. So a follow up on that. Yeah. Now Navy's 7-0. Now that Fountain's out here, the auto pen's out of office.
Man, dude, that was gold. I remembered how funny it was.
It's a good thing Navy doesn't have Rush on their schedule this year.
Okay. All right. My underdog this week, I talked about this game also. Big 12 matchup. I'm taking Cincy plus 10.5. I mean, come on, dude. Utah, I'd said it, has struggled against the two good teams they played. Cincinnati is 7-1, undefeated in Big 12 play, and I think they're going to at least keep it close. I think they probably might win. They might win this game. I don't know. I'm not going to take that. It's not my deep shot. But I do think Cincinnati keeps this game close. I think It's going to be an awesome game that, I probably won't get to watch a lot. I've got some plans late on Saturday night, so I'll be checking in, though. I'll get the scorecast going. My over this week is going to be my lock. It's going to be South Carolina Ole Miss in Oxford, night game. Lane Kiffin has got to be pumped because we know he has been really waiting on a night game for South Carolina or for Ole Miss. He's been complaining about that for a while, but I got it over 55.5. It's my lock of the week. But we saw South Carolina kind of bounce back and against Alabama last week. Should have won it. It's a whole different discussion. But Ole Miss offensively is rolling. They have been scoring at will the last couple of weeks. Trinidad Chambliss having a great season. And I think South Carolina's offense against an Ole Miss defense that, isn't that great either. I think we're going to get some major points in this game, some big fireworks for a night game. Lane Kiffin's been waiting for it. We might see the clipboard flying up in the air in this game. I think actually that game, that clip where he throws the clipboard, it was actually against South Carolina. So he may be redoing it this year. I'm going to make that my lock of the week. I love it. 55.5.
Caleb, I think we might go 3 for 3 here. My over this week, over 50.5, Georgia at Florida. I think it makes sense. I think this number makes sense, dude. I mean, listen, Caleb did say it earlier, and I didn't say anything because this was one of my picks, and we're not supposed to talk about our picks.
Caleb walked away from the screen I know you maybe. If you're listening on podcasts, you may not even see it on YouTube, but he walked away.
Caleb just left. Caleb left the studio. I think Florida is going to be able to score 17 to 20 points in this game. I really do. And I think Georgia wins, but I think the final score is going to be 34-21, something like that, 34-28, somewhere right there. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, and I think it's going to be some points. And I look at 50.5 and I like it. And Caleb, don't change your pick. I hope we get 4 for 4 at this point. I hope we have the same under. I really do. Don't change that pick. Don't change.
I have the same pick. And you know what? This is so weird. Jake did not come to Forsyth before he flew back to Florida today. I promise. Okay. I wrote down on my notes, my analysis, predicted score 34-21. No joke. I said the same thing. I think it's going to be like 21-17.5, maybe us. And then you guys are going to score the rest of the game. You're going to run the ball, get like 2 8-minute drives going. We're going to 3 and out, and you're going to salt the game away that way. That's my game script.
3 for 3, man. This comeback around 5. Can we go 5 for 5? Who knows? All right, Brodrick, give us your over and your under.
Well, my over is going to be USC at Nebraska, over 58.5. I'm taking that because, I mean, if you look at, USC, they're averaging 42 points a game. And I think it's going to be a shootout, honestly. I mean, how I look at it, they're both evenly matched at 5-2 and 6-2. And I just think that's going to be a shootout for sure. And then my under, this might be a little controversial, but my under is going to be Texas versus Vandy sitting at under 45.5. And I don't know, does Archie Manning go off this game again? Does he have another good game, coming off the game he had last week? It's so inconsistent throughout the season. It's up and down, man. So you just don't know. And Vandy is no pushover as we've been seeing and how they played in the last couple of weeks. So they both put up, pretty good points, but I'm going to take the under for that one.
I like that pick. I do like that pick a lot. All right, Caleb, let's see what happens.
All right. So I'm staying in the SEC.
That's one.
I'm going to wait. Let me pull up the city. Let's make this even more dramatic because Jake is clearly still in the SEC, right? Are we still there? I'm going to Auburn, Alabama. Is this the same pick?
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
All right. Well, I'm taking Auburn and Kentucky to go under 44.5. I think Auburn's offense is miserable, but their defense is awesome. I don't think Kentucky scores 10 points in this game at home at a night game in Jordan-Hare. I just don't think that happens. Auburn probably will win the game. Hugh Freeze will keep his job for another week, but I don't foresee them scoring any more than like 24 points against a atrocious, arguably, maybe not. I mean, they held Texas to 20 or 17. I mean, I think it's going to be a very, very underwhelming affair in Auburn.
All right. Well, we made it. We got a different pick. What is it, Jake?
It makes me sad. I was really looking forward to the graphic just being the exact same across the whole thing. My under is going to be Mississippi State at Arkansas. Just a ridiculous number on this. 67 6-7, 67.5 points in this one. And listen, I understand what you might be thinking, like, dude, Mississippi State, their defense stinks. Arkansas doesn't play much defense, but dude, that is an insane point total to get to. I mean, like, that's a lot. And one thing about me is when I see a total over 65, I'm kind of automatically starting to think, I think the under's there. Because everything has to go right for their offense. I mean, if you go one quarter where there's a turnover here and a turnover there, then you're not going to be able to catch up to 67 overall points. So give me the under there.
All right. My under is going to be Purdue, Michigan, under 50.5. Look, Michigan is a run the ball, chew the clock up team, and Purdue sucks. That's really all you need to know. 50.5 seems like a lot. I feel like that game is going to end up being like 34-0 Michigan. Purdue's not going to be able to put up any points. I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. It's Big Ten football. You know how bad it is sometimes. Okay, and then my deep shot this week going to be a game Caleb just talked about. I'm going to take Kentucky plus 300 against the Auburn Tigers. Look, it's a deep shot for a reason. Okay, there's not a lot to be excited about against Kentucky. They almost beat Texas. They should have beat Texas, and if they, their coach was competent enough to just take points in overtime. But that's neither here nor there. Auburn's feeling a little good about themselves after last week. They finally got in the win column. Hugh Freeze is safe. Boom, lose to Kentucky. Now he's gone. He'll be the fired coach this week. So I'm going to take Kentucky plus 300. Send your kids to college.
I can see the vision there. I can see that vision. So for my deep shot is going to be another SEC game. They played good last week. Almost should have won the game, and I really think they could have won that game, but they didn't. Gave me the South Carolina Gamecocks going to Oxford, pulling off the upset against Ole Miss, plus 375. Listen, we got a lot of murmurs going around in South Carolina now. They're the preseason number 13 team in the country. Now their coach is on the hot seat. People are calling out their defense. People are calling out their playmakers. Lenoris isn't looking as good as we thought he was going to be. One game this year, it's going to click, and we're going to see it, and it looked like it was going to be last week. I think that was a big confidence for them. It has to be. They went 4 quarters with, a top 5 team in the country. By all like the eye test, what you're seeing, Alabama the last few weeks has looked awesome. Kike Hernandez solo home run, 2-1 Blue Jays. I think that South Carolina is going to be able to get it done in this one, and I love those odds, plus 370.
Dude, we're going to play like find the needle in the haystack with that bit at some point in the party game down the road somewhere. Like that is just the most random score update. Thank you.
Listen, man, if you haven't been watching the World Series, incredible series so far.
It has been good baseball. It has been good baseball. It may or may not be on our living room right now. My deep shot is going to be a pick that another guy took on this podcast. Sorry to do it to you, Garrison, but I wrote it down. I'm sticking to my guns. I got the Bearcats plus 280 against Utah. I think they're going to win outright. I really think that they've figured it out ever since they dropped that game to Nebraska. And you've said it over and over again. I'm not going to repeat the same point. All right. They just don't play well in these kind of games. Home, away, be damned. I think Cincinnati's got the dog in them. It is a factor that a lot of football teams, you can just look around like we talked about. There's some soft teams. Cincinnati's not one of them. Utah might be. Right? We're still not really sure.
Brandon Sorbsby, the quarterback for Cincinnati, he's got the it factor a little bit.
He's going to be an awesome Atlanta Falcon. He's going to be such a good Falcon.
All right, Brodrick, what's your deep shot?
So I'm kind of throwing to Omaha, like Caleb would say. I had the Cincinnati and the Utah plus 300, but I'm going to switch it up a little bit and go money line for Wake Forest at Florida State plus 286 out there. I'm going to throw it out there. Florida State, we kind of see them unfold themselves as frauds, if I want to call it. And with, my family, just say something like this. My family is mainly ACC fans, believe it or not. But my sister's a big Florida State fan. But we just seen them unfold themselves.
Hey, I'll keep him in my prayers. I hate to hear that. I'll keep him in my prayers. I'm sorry.
Between Louisville and Florida State and such as, but let's go with Wake Forest. I think it'll be a good game for that one.
All right, Separation Saturday coming up. I mean, Caleb and Jake are just holding on tight together. See what happens. Okay, let's get into our NFL best bets before we get out of here. I'm gonna start with mine. This is kind of a weird line to me. I mean, it might be someone else's pick as well, but the Broncos are 1.5 point dogs against the Houston Texans on Sunday. It's in Houston, but I mean, I know Houston they just beat the 49ers, but there's not a lot of exciting things about the Houston Texans. I love the Broncos in this spot. plus 110s the money line. They're just obviously the better team. It seems like, again, I've said this before. I never once in my life before Bo Nix got to the NFL thought that Bo Nix would ever be an NFL quarterback, and he is a really good one at that. So, the Broncos are a really good team. I don't think they're going to lose to the Texans. It's a weird line. It's one of those, Vegas knows something, but I'm just going to – sometimes you got to go with what you know. I'm going to go with Broncos money line.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans are playing better, I will say. I mean, they blew out the Titans. I mean, they suck. They blew out the Ravens. They were not very good. Went to Seattle, almost won, lost, and then that win against San Francisco. So Houston is looking better, but I kind of agree with you. I mean, I really like that line. My first best bet, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars minus 2.5 this week against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Jags are on a little bit of a little slide right now. After starting off 4-1, now we're 4-3. A little bit scary. That game against Seattle was an ugly one, and then that game in London against the Rams was incredibly ugly. I think the Jags are going to be able to right the ship this week and be able to pick up a win against an inferior opponent, get to 5-3, and get the ball moving.
For my first NFL pick, I'm going to go with the Seahawks and Commanders over 47.5. I think the Commanders' defense has been a little suspect here recently, and I think Sam Darnold's playing at an elite level. Wouldn't be shocked they score 37 points by themselves. Also, by the way, don't hear much discourse, or I would say not enough discourse about Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's creeping top 5 at this point in NFL. He is a baller.
Yeah, he's going crazy.
He leads the NFL in receiving yards right now. He's an absolute freak. I think if you're going off this year alone, you have to put him up there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sam Darnold just makes receivers look good, and you could argue.
You really could.
Brodrick, give us 2 of yours.
So I got one sitting at Pittsburgh versus Indiana, taking the money line at 139. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm really freaked out about Daniel Jones right now. I honestly am. Just him going off right now. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm waiting for him to fall off, and maybe this might be a fall off game. But if he continues to do what he's doing, I'm convinced. I'm convinced that New York is a terrible, and I already know this. New York is a terrible organization, and just once you leave New York, you can go have a successful career. But I look at it as maybe get to the middle of the season, and is he going to have a bad game? Is he not? But I'm going to take them at 139 with Pittsburgh.
And give us one more.
Let's see Chargers at Tennessee. Plus 8.5 for Tennessee. Let's take that.
All right,
man, going with the Titans. Interesting. Hey, could be sharp. All
right, Caleb.
My next game is going to be representative of what's on my shirt. You guys see it here. I'm going to take the Patriots minus 5.5 this week at home against the Atlanta Falcons. I hate to do this to not but 1 and 2 Falcons fans, but a third one that's in here guest picking. I hate to do it. Me and him discussed going to this game at one point or another. And
we did.
Good thing
it's excellent.
You're not going.
It's
probably
excellent.
A good thing I'm not either. I will be enjoying it from the house, and I would like to see Atlanta go down. And maybe Raheem, we get your guy fired for you guys. That's kind of my hope.
Yeah, I'll take the Falcons money line plus 210. Yeah, I mean, there's just, you know what, Caleb, you know what's going to happen this weekend? You know what's going to happen is the Dogs are going to put belt to ass against the Gators, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, at least we got today. And then the Falcons are going to pull it off, and then next Monday is going to be the best Deep Shot Sports podcast of all time.
Oh, man, that'd be something, dude. Caleb would be in tears, boy. Also,
for the record, that was not one of my picks, but you just kind of fired me up right there, and I was like, you know what, this got to happen.
Also, losers got to make a reaction vid. I know Jake's been shying away from the reaction vids lately because the Falcons been sucking, but loser of this game's somebody's got to make one. Someone's got to say something back. Got to face the noise.
Yeah, so I made a reaction video on Sunday, but I was at Epic Universe on Sunday, and I was like with like my girlfriend's like family, and I kind of felt a little bit awkward, like recording myself, and it just wasn't very good, so I didn't send it in. Yeah, it was pretty. It
would have been hilarious. So you should have got on the ride and made it just my face after the Falcons, and you're just bumping around. Yeah. It'd be hilarious. All right, the second one is going to be the Lions minus 9.5 against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings have been falling off lately. It has been brutal. I know J.J. McCarthy's coming back. I don't really think that makes a difference. The Lions are looking hot. They got the game at home. Seems like a big enough number where people are like, oh, no way, not in the NFL. Well, did you guys know last week it was the most blowouts? Like there was only one score game of the whole Sunday. And it was the first time since like 1970 that happened on one NFL Sunday. And then Monday night there was a blowout too. So, just saying, those things do happen in the NFL. So I'm gonna be taking the Lions minus 9.5. And then my last one is gonna be the Bills Chiefs over 52.5. This game's always fireworks in the regular season. I don't see that thing changing. Regular season and postseason, it's always fireworks when the two teams match up. And we've talked about Patrick Mahomes got 17 touchdowns. Josh Allen. James Cook's been having himself a great year. So I'm going to be going with the over 52.5 there to wrap up my best bets.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hit both of mine right here that I didn't. I replaced the Falcons pick with, but I really like the Seahawks -3 this week. I think the Commanders have been one of the more disappointing teams in the league this season. Not sure if Jaden's back or not. I don't think it matters. I really don't. I think the Seattle team is legit. We were just talking about JSN, talking about Sam Darnold, talking about that defense. This Seattle team's really dang good. Get them -3. I like it. Then my other pick was the Bengals +2.5. The Joe Flacco show continues against the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears do stink. I actually have the same pick. I'm sticking to my guns. I got a similar pick to you, Garrison. I actually have the Lions at -8.5.
Okay, we'll take it.
So give me that. I just think, like you said, J.J. McCarthy's probably going to be the guy. They better hope it is, because it's not Carson Wentz going to go out there in a wheelchair and try and play quarterback. I mean, he was banged and beaten up. Didn't they say he had like a season-ending surgery or something this week?
He did.
He
He
did.
was out for a season. That was like hard to watch, dude. That guy was in pain the other night.
Pain.
And the whole brace, he was like the shoulder brace he was wearing before the game even started. Crazy, dude. Rumors are starting to heat up that they are going to trade for Kirk Cousins. So,
Are you serious?
I'm
I've
very
been hearing that
serious.
a lot too. What? Quick question: would you want Kurt on the Minnesota squad though? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a guy you would want on a Minnesota? I mean, just looking at it from
Like as a Minnesota fan or as a Falcons fan?
as just an NFL fan in general, or really a Falcons fan. I mean, of course, a Falcons fan, leave it or take it. But I mean, he could go. But as a Minnesota fan, would you want Kirk Cousins coming over here playing? You know what I'm saying?
I think at this point, I think it's similar to when Matt Ryan went to Indy. Now there are some differences, and I would have taken Matt Ryan back in Indy when we were trying out Desmond Ridder. I would have taken him.
He was a cancer.
What's your last one, Brodrick?
Let me do San Francisco, New York, 148 for New York.
Or Jackson Dart, maybe.
I like Jackson Dart, man. I really do, man. It sucks Cam Scottaboo got hurt the way he did, and I don't know. I feel like Jackson Dart has that fire in him to keep the squad carrying, but I mean that Cam Scottaboo injury did definitely hurt for sure.
Yeah, no, that was that. I mean, I told it on the last podcast, but I saw he got hurt, and in my head I was thinking, oh, he got a concussion. It's a matter of time before that was going to happen. But then to see the rough leg injury, just catching a little dump off, sad, dude. I mean, the heart and soul of the NFL this year was Cam Scottaboo. Everybody was rooting for that guy. So
They did say he will be back for like OTAs next year, though.
No surgery required. It's just a dislocation. He's got to pop it in, and it's going to take a while to heal. But that's a good thing. He's not going to have to go under the knife, so he should be able to recover 100%.
Fast.
All right. Well, that will wrap up our picks for week 10 and week 9. Shout out to Brodrick for joining. We've got another big weekend coming. Reminder, Deep Shot Sports helping Paul's event, Mutation Brewery, November 22nd. It is going to be a great time. We are looking forward to seeing you guys in just a couple of short weeks. For Brodrick, for Caleb, and for Jake, I'm Garrison. Deep Shot out. Thanks for listening.